I'm Erica Abel. I am 23 years old. I am from Honesdale, Pennsylvania, and I am a photographer. In the last couple of years, I've described myself more as going towards the professional side. I just don't consider myself a full professional yet because I do have another full-time job. I started photography when I was about 10 years old with my parents' point-and-shoot camera, and it just kind of took off from there. Eventually, they got me a tripod, and I would start to take self-portraits of myself after I discovered like Instagram and Tumblr. And then once my parents realized that I was really into it and I was making something special out of it, they got me my first DSLR, which was a Canon T3i for my 15th birthday. And ever since then, I've just been going at it. So I get so busy, which I'm very thankful for, with like seniors and couples. I photograph everything under the sun. I love to do it all. If I had to say like in a very specific category, just like couples and like senior portraits, but I'm getting more and more big into weddings and families.
My name is Michael O'Toole. I'm 34 years old. I'm from Jim Thorpe area. I used to do more video stuff and I was always recording, but then like my first season I was in Alaska, but I seen like what some of the people were getting off the Canon cameras. So I was like, man, only if I could have a camera that was more catered towards, taking photos. My second season when I went back to Alaska in 2010, I bought a Canon Rebel XS. Didn't know much about photography, didn't know how to shoot manually, anything. A lot of people kind of noticed I had that eye. I didn't really think that highly of myself and all, but then just, I guess after a while, talking to other people, meeting a few professionals, and, they were pretty impressed with my work. That's what kind of geared me to, really focus too on the photography side as well. I'd say like all around my approach is probably more like photojournalistic, capture life in the moment, how I see it, what's going on. I would say overall though, yeah, like wildlife and landscapes are what I'm most, comfortable taking, where I feel most at home.
Hi, I'm Ariana Lisa. I am 23. I grew up in Tunkhannock, Pennsylvania, and I've always had a huge love of the outdoors because I've been surrounded by it my whole life. I went to college at King's College in Wilkes-Barre for environmental science, and I kind of just followed my love of nature and wildlife and got into wildlife photography a couple years ago, and it's been my passion ever since. I recently have been trying to broaden my scope a little bit of the type of photography I do. I've always been super intrigued with wildlife specifically, but I'm trying to branch out a little bit and do more landscape, more just all around nature photography. I think I've always loved wildlife. I've always felt very connected to any type of wildlife that I see around me. I don't know what that is. I don't know if that's just because I like animals and I've always loved animals, but I've always been on the lookout for wildlife wherever I go. If I'm in the car, I'll be looking for birds. If I'm, hiking, I'm looking for foxes or deer or anything I can find. Watching wildlife closely and being able to focus and sit and be present with wildlife has completely changed my whole life. I find now that when I'm outside and I'm watching something in nature, I completely drown out everything else about the world and I'm focused one-on-one with whatever I'm shooting. Having that little bit of a connection and a little bit of a moment with whatever it is I'm taking a picture of has just grounded me so much.
It is kind of always challenging depending on if there's something in your location that didn't go to plan, if your person you're photographing is kind of like very like insecure and you're trying to help them break out of their shell. That can be really challenging. And like lighting situations, weather situations, but I always make it work. It brings me the most joy. I love it. I love to wake up in the morning, and if there's a beautiful sunrise, I grab my phone and my camera immediately. Or when I'm out actually taking photos of people, I always show them as we go along so they know what they look like and to kind of get a feel of what we got going on, and to see their reactions like, oh my gosh, I'm beautiful, or oh my gosh, these are awesome photos. Like seeing the joy out of them, and then especially when I finish them and send the galleries over and they just send me this long message about how they feel about themselves, that's why I do it. I love to bring joy to others, and I just love it myself. People think that you just press a button and throw like an Instagram filter over it, but they don't understand that it's miles of messages, location scouting, watching the weather, driving to places, posing, editing, sorting through. For a 1-hour photo shoot, there's probably at least an extra like 3 to 4 hours at least that go into that.
anyone can take a photo, but I feel like really knowing the right elements to make the photo jump. I think they don't realize all the stuff that goes into it. What's your shutter speed going to be? What's your aperture going to be? Your ISO? What time of day should I go out there and take this photo? I'd say the other challenge is trying to find something new and creative and really finding something original that no one else has done before. It's never about the camera, it's about how you shoot it. What's the lighting? What's the elements in front of you? I mean, just the work, the effort that goes into it, time, the patience, the lighting, trying to make sure your subject looks good on camera, especially if you're dealing with like outdoor lighting. That's always a challenge. The challenging thing I would say is to freeze that moment while it's still there and not miss it. Just get out and take photos, try different things. Don't be afraid to break the rules in a way and do your own thing. You might find something completely new someone's never seen in photography before, and basically pave the way for a whole new style of photography.
There's two parts of photography in my mind that are challenging. One is the technical side, and that's kind of goes without saying, but learning your gear and being able to know on a dime what you need to change, what you need to use, if you need to quick, adjust something to get the right shot. I think that's a big challenge. But once you learn your gear and you've overcome that challenge, then that helps a lot. The second challenge for me with photography, specifically with wildlife photography, is being able to feel confident in what I know about wildlife, which helps me find what I'm looking for and really be able to get the shot that I'm after. Everybody has a camera in their pocket, and everybody has their own creativity that they bring to photography. I think it's easy to lose sight of the fact that someone who's really into photography and makes it like their whole life puts so much more than just that 1 second of taking the picture into their product. You spend so much time after the fact with editing and adjusting your final image to what you want it to be and what you want it to portray. And I think a lot of people don't realize the amount of time and creativity that goes into making something like that really speaks to you individually and to your audience as well. Each individual person sees the world through their own perspective. And photography is an avenue for people to show their perspective to everybody else in the world. So no matter how many photographers are out there and no matter how competitive the field is, it's always individual and it's always about that. It's about the unique vision that you have of the world that you want to portray to everybody else. There are parts of photography where it's good to know a little bit about the simple things, I guess, like angles and like lighting, and anybody with a camera can get a cool shot, that's true, but I think having a professional that has really worked with how to maneuver a camera and how to get the best part of the moment that they're trying to capture, I think that's always a plus. When you're looking at photos that you really appreciate or you see something that connects with you, think about not only what makes that photo give you that feeling, but also think about the people that are behind that photo that want you to feel that feeling and how happy they would be if they knew that you felt that feeling when you looked at their photo. Because that's everything that I think a photographer wants, is for other people to see their work and to have that feeling about what they're seeing that was put out by you. Don't go into it with the mindset that you have to be perfect right off the bat. It's a learning process. I'm still learning. I've been doing photography for years now, and I still feel like I have so much to learn. But most importantly, focus on having fun with it. Focus on creating what you envision in your head, and focus on that feeling you get when you look through your viewfinder and you see the shot, and you know as soon as you take it that that's your shot, and try to chase that feeling.